Great. Hello world, Pod team back at it again. This is our Sunday session where we focus on the methodology for tracking the human qualia phenomenon, the mojo phenomenon. And basically that is innate energetic preferences that humans have, and then how they give off specific physiological cues that can be tracked and read and made sense of if you're properly trained. And so in the course of doing that, we have developed the methodology amongst ourselves, but we're now trying to get a training tool, the sample server program, to be able to help in training ourselves and anyone else who would like to learn. So I'll go ahead and do introductions, and then Ben can say what has been updated in the program since last time. I am Nai Ji Coach.
I am Shining Charlene.
And I am Nai Ji Ben.
Go ahead, take it away. So you're saying since last time there's been some updates?
Yeah, so last time we had one of the things I changed is we had an issue where when you would change from collage to quiz mode and back, it would delete all of the things you had selected for Mojo. So I fixed that. I also fixed the problem with when you would select a specific difficulty, it wouldn't equalize the Mojos. I fixed that. And I also added in a ton of backgrounds that Coach sent to me this weekend. Nice. And those seem to be working. And one other thing is I also added the option to finish a collage early. So at any point you can choose to end the collage.
Yeah,
excellent. So great updates. That'll help out a lot. And then before we went on camera, we're discussing some things for adding some more immersiveness to the game. We'll let you stay tuned for those as they develop. All right, so I'd like to continue what we were doing last time that seemed to work well, which is kind of showing off how one trains and going through a beginner, intermediate, and advanced setup. In the beginning, we'll use the sample server program to go over more simple aspects of it, some basics, some fundamentals, and also focusing on samples that are A-grade quality. That'll be beginner material, and those who are already skilled at these kinds of things, this will be a good warm-up. It's always good to do a warm-up. Kind of like if you're going to go to the dojo and get yourself a workout, you generally want to do a warm-up, and then you want to do some technical stuff, some focus there, and then specific drills, and then full sparring. That's kind of classically how you do it. And this skill set, as it is a tracking of human physiological cues and aesthetic appreciation kind of thing, the same kind of I'd say arc applies to getting yourself built up to do the best performance that you can to get the most out of the training session. All right, so we'll start off first with some basic warm-up stuff. So I'd like to do a tour. It's my turn. So Charlene, go pull up the program. I'd like to do a tour of Jai. I kind of like to wake that up in myself. So let's do something like, let's do a 16 sample collage with A-grade sample Jai Mojos.
Male and female?
Male and female, yeah. Just gonna take in the Jai. Question here, Ben, is there a faster way for her to do this? For example, can she click somewhere on here? Is there like an alchemy button so she could just click on Jai Mojos?
There isn't currently. I'll have to add that in.
Okay, that'd be very helpful.
It can be like so it's like the desktop version, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be very helpful. All right, but go ahead, Joan. So let's say Nijai and the Vijai. No Jinai, just the Vijai. All right, so there we go. And the easy, please. Are we screen sharing this, by the way? Excellent.
Yep, it's screen shared.
Cool. And here we go. And like before, we'll kind of say what we're doing. Last time we were doing a lot of that, and that seemed natural and fun. We'll continue that. All right, let's do it. Okay, so actually, I wanted to do a tour. It doesn't really matter though. Very fine, because these are all actually good. We're focused on the Jai here. So for those who are watching, take a look at the mouth area, and what you're going to be noticing is that the emoting has a less of a pushing out into the environment, sort of giving off a tone on purpose to convey a meaning. Instead, it is being felt as being reacted to. So on the one on the left, he's squinching the lips in a shy purse, and that is him sort of just holding his emotive position, waiting to see what happens next. And then on the right, he is actually being impacted by something, and Jai is reacting, in this case, a positive thing to it. And also notice that the cheeks activate in response to this, since Jai mojos are also all values-based. We don't need to do that. I was kind of just want to focus on the Jai for it. That's why I just said we could do a tour.
You can do a tour.
Okay. So you want to go take that one?
What's that?
You want to take that one?
Sure. Okay, so Vijay Lala Anthony.
And I'm sorry if I confuse you all anyway, is that I'm trying to actually kind of incorporate a full flow here. And so this is a tour. So I'm not starting off like a quiz like I had been. So it's a little different, but same in that I'd like to kind of just talk through to people what we're saying.
Changing it up. Sounds good.
Just real light for people who have no experience, kind of just presenting to them.
Yeah, so Vijay Lala Anthony, again, you see the underwear expression. There's more energy in the lower lip. It's also kind of a more inward, vulnerable-looking expression, emotive expression, and it goes, since she's Vijay, it goes into the cheeks, but doesn't go into the eyes.
Nice.
So, okay, so this is Shivy Anthony Hamilton. And I can see here, it looks like, he has Shy unaware, and it's going throughout the entire face. Well, actually, all these samples have Shy unaware, but it looks like it's going throughout the entire face. And then on top of that, I still see the V energy perking up there, particularly on the right picture. But I can still see, even with the V, like it's, I mean, it's really perking up, but it doesn't look like it's, he doesn't look objective to me. It looks like it's just, he's just there. So.
Good. And I'll highlight here, staying with the kind of Jai thread, is that vulnerable look that Jailene mentioned. You see in both of it, both when he's pursing it and when it's open, sort of like it is expecting to be pushed on, and then it's going to react to that pushing. It's not looking to go out. All right. So same thing here again. I say notice there on the right that she has the expectancy. It's something we associate a lot with Jai, is waiting for to be approached emotively, and then it's reacting as that happens. So something that goes with it is that the lips often are slightly parted when in a relaxed way, and then when it does sort of flex more, it's more like it is on the left, where it's in a paused or refrained state. And that applies, in this case, she's a Vijay, but that applies to objective and subjective Jai mojos, that dichotomy of sort of the mouth is awaiting, where the emoting is awaiting for something to happen. And then when it does do more activity, it does so on the restrained or resonating phases.
And Nishai Dennis Dutton. And so similar to the Vijay, like the actress we saw previously, he has that, again, in all the Jai mojos we've seen so far, there's that unaware expression and the parted, open lips when you're relaxed, and more of a receptive mode, like looking for the signals, the external signals to hit him, and then emotively react from that. You can feel that expectancy. Also the vulnerability, the energy on the lower lip, and similar to the Vijay, the emotive expression, it goes into the cheeks, but it doesn't permeate the eyes. The eyes you'll see, since he's Vijay, it's knee perception. Doesn't have that clear lens quality that you saw beforehand, that very shiny, clear, almost gem-like quality to the eyes. This is more of a dreamy, diffuse receptivity.
And we're focusing here on the Xi. That's the main through point, but it's good to note other things like Shailene just did about how the eyes can be quite different because that's where the perceptions come from. So these 4 mojos will have different, eye stuff going on that she pointed out, but the mouth will be doing more similar things.
Yeah, and also he has a more compact face
Right.
versus the elongated face that you see with the subjective mojos that we're
exactly.
seeing.
Good.
All right, cool. Vijay Tamala Jones.
Good. We just kind of cruise now. Jaini Cameron Crowe.
Nijai Julia Stiles.
Shiny female.
Let's go back real quick there. Just kind of noting that one thing you see also with Jai, you can kind of really notice here on the right is that it goes up the entire face because she's a Jai source mojo, but still the lower lip has more energy. That's where the emoji kind of comes into the mouth area first, and then it spreads out the rest of the face. This me. Jai V. Kat Dennings.
Jaidi Veronica Hamill.
Nijai female.
Vijay Reza Farhan.
Jaini Melanie Linsky.
Nijai V female.
And this is Nijai Marina Baccarat.
Jaivi Leah Ficarola.
Nice. All right, Charlie, what would you like to do? Anything you like, but try to pick something that would be maybe a simpler skill set to start with.
Okay. Any mojos?
Any mode, anything you want to do, just imagine that we're kind of like starting a class off, and there's going to be the first part is beginners, then it'll be intermediate, then it'll be advanced. So we're starting off with things that would be easier to do.
Okay. Well,
in the future, I think Ben's going to have for us that we'll be able to do energy fields and power contrast. That'd be good ones to do.
Yeah. I mentioned in because we looked at Xi. Well, let's look at a Xi. Use Xi mojos, and just to see the other like tower, instrument power, and Nizai and Visa.
By the way, if you want to equalize the genders, it's possible to do that by under gender only having male and female selected. That'll cause it to try to equalize male and females.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
So then, nice. All righty. Okay. So just to get this out of the way first, is one thing you will be seeing similar is that the Xi mojos and the Xi mojos, you put them together, that makes up the adaptives. So there will be a receptiveness and kind of just holding your space that is similar. The difference is going to be how that space is held. All right. And then, of course, what that does to the cheeks. So in this case, we have Xi V, Ali Quigley. And Xi is used to neutralize the cheeks of a mode of expression, particularly on the resonating, holding one's personal space, faith, an adaptive tower priority. So on both hers, you see that the mouth is activating a good amount, and that gets into Xi, which I don't want to deal with too much right now. So I want to talk mainly about the space holding. Her cheeks have little emotive flexation going on, although she actually is making an emotive maneuver in both of those pictures, where if we were looking at, say, a Xi mojo, that much emoting would be going into the cheeks. But like we saw in the other pictures, both of these, she is in the awaiting phase, and she is comfortable there. She is getting momentum. You're seeing momentum right now from her coolly holding her space.
Okay, Visa Barrett Grills. So you'll see that he also has the sheer neutralizing of his cheeks, and it's quite, comfortable. It doesn't look like he's straining himself to keep that neutralized expression. It does look like he is kind of altering himself to do this emotive expression here on the right-hand side. It looks a little more, animated, like this is, looking more comfortable, and that's because it's momentum, the Zai. Here, still very engaging, but not as natural looking, and it's more localized, the emotive expression around the mouth area and the cheeks, and even the side of the, the cheeks mostly for him. But even here on the side, it's less, you don't see the emotive expression activating the muscle fascia. And because, and I'll point out here, you see that again, that clear-eyed lens quality from the V.
Ben?
Oh yeah, Ziny May La Prez. And so yeah, here I can see she looks subjective. The eyes look hooded to me. There's this long tower elongation. Her cheeks look unflappable, and the eyes look they look more ethereal, more a little more second conversation than they would if she was a little mojo. So yeah.
Good. Oh, just so you guys know, you guys are doing great. But one thing I want to note that we'll want to work on as far as like the beginning section, I'm noticing I'm having to do it myself, is that we're used to talking about mojos from a already knowing all their powers and their energy fields. And one thing I'm thinking that we're teaching new people, and for the same with the program as well, that probably being able to isolate powers or energy fields will be helpful for them when they don't have that skill set yet. And then layering on top of that. Just something to throw out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I heard I'll just kind of mention again the coolness on the refrain. She's in a very tower refrained, holding your space maneuver, and that's where the coolness is as compared to the coolness of, say, Z pushing out. This is a holding back coolness. All right, Nizai Bill Dawes.
Nizai Tim Hopkins.
Zai V Male.
Nizai Ela Darling.
Ziny Brad Hall.
Zai V Female.
Something else mentioned with the Zai, similar to the Zhai, is that it has a calming quality. People often feel a sense of calm when they see mojos that have this as momentum power. But there can be a warm calm or a cool calm. This is a cool calm. Ziny Amanda Murphy.
Zai V Derek Rose.
Nizai Female.
Vizai Leandro Barbosa.
Zai Rebecca Walter.
Ziny Male.
And Nizai Carmen. Cool. What'd you like to do, Ben?
How about we do romantics? Did we do that last time? I can't remember.
Yeah, sure. Now, do you want to do a quiz telling them apart, or do you want to do a tour?
Let's do a quiz.
All right. What size would you like?
I don't know. How about we do 32?
Cool. Oh, did you want both genders or one?
Yeah, let's just do both genders. And we'll keep the easy and
Okay, where we go? Oh,
Oh.
Boo. Quiz.
oh okay.
That was my butt.
Oh, okay.
All right, so since I know that we are doing romantics, I can use some other things to help me. This may be good for beginners. So if you know that it's one of the romantics, something I'm seeing with her, first thing that kind of jumps out to me is her eyes are pushing me, as is her emoting. I feel like she's looking sort of through me a bit, and that her expression is meant for me to understand what it's saying. So that kind of tells me I'm dealing with a directive. This makes it one of the durams. And then the Naiji or the Jinai, and then I'm seeing the elongation of the face and the hooded eyes. So our eyes look like they're looking from a bit more far away, and there is an elongation of the face. It isn't always there, but it is in some ways typical of subjectives. So Naiji.
Okay, well, I'm not sure what this person's mojo is. I'm going to take my guess. I think I might be seeing. Yeah, I'm seeing it going to the cheeks. Obviously, these are. Don't know that I'm seeing it in the. I think I'm thinking hooded. Thinking subjective. I think I'm seeing elongation. So narrowing it down to Shiny and Naiji. Her eyes, I'm not quite sure. They may be pushing out. I'm having trouble with her. I'm gonna say Naiji, but it could be something else. Okay, yeah, that's Naiji.
That was tough, especially because it came right after another Naiji.
Yeah, like.
By the way, do you think maybe she should be lower than an A sample? Yeah,
I think so.
So
maybe she's a little more.
What's her name?
Demure.
Karen Birchall. Got it.
All right. With her, I feel like. I feel like I'm not seeing Nijai from her. She strikes me as either being a hunter or discernment lead. I'm probably leaning more towards discernment lead because I think I might be seeing a bifocal face. And then I'm thinking about, does she have Ji or Zhai?
Did you say you thought you saw a bifield face?
No, I said I thought oh wait, did I say that on accident? I think I meant to say unifield face if I did. But yeah, so I'm thinking of, does she have Ji or Zhai? Yeah, I don't know. Picture on the right, I mean, she looks like she's a little bit long there. So comparing like the Zhiny and the Jinai, for example. But the picture on the left, she looks more like she might be a Jinai because she seems to have a very full smile. And I can clearly see as she's smiling, the emoting is very clearly, it looks like it's going up the face. So like, I'm not sure about the picture on the right, but the picture on the left looks pretty striking to me as potentially being a Jinai.
Okay, so that's your call?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, she is a Naiji. Okay.
So you're right about the pushing, but that actually is elongation. You were right, and I think you were sensing that. Question: Should we move her to B?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the picture on the right, come to think of it, does make sense as Naiji. I was throwing my picture on the left a little bit, I guess. But
right.
This picture on the right kind of looks like maybe Emma Watson or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I'll put her to B. Great. All right. Yep. So this is me. Okay, I'm seeing elongation, and those smiles look like they're holding their space. I'm thinking Johnny.
Okay, striking me is the roundness and compactness of his face, and his eyes are very bright. So that's kind of leading me to objective, and specifically objective gatherer. It seems vulnerable and unaware of the expression. So I'm going to say Nijai.
Naiji, Emma Watson.
Shiny. For what jumped out for me on that is you probably see the elongation easiest. That might think people can see right away, but for me is the fact that the emoting goes all the way up the face and is holding its space. So, Jai source.
I know who this is, so Nijai, Julia Stats.
I remember that. I think I remember this guy as an Adrom. The question is whether he's a Nijai or a Jani. The eyes do look pretty bright to me, but that can apply to both of them pretty easily. One question I have is like whether the emoting is going into the eyes. That's a pretty common way of distinguishing the two inverse values-based mojos. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna guess shiny, maybe with a wire face. Of course, this is an A-grade sample, but yeah. So if it's an A-grade sample, it seems like, okay, well, maybe it's actually not that.
Yeah, I did try on the A-grades, A's and B's. I try to stay away from things like, wide subjectives and narrow objectives and things like that.
Yeah, so I guess in that case, it may be worth thinking about like what is. It kind of causes you to want to think about what the more like obvious answer would be, I guess, because if it's a really unobvious answer, then maybe that's less likely with A-grades.
And that would be I don't think that's wrong when teaching beginners. Teaching them about say Nijai by all the range of Nijai. That's just too much. You got to start somewhere. So you want to start with a more classic or typical example. Question: does his age make this? You think it's okay, A-grade?
Yeah, all right, that's good. Yeah, his eyes were very bright and has a rounder face.
Okay. All right. So I believe that I'm seeing, since we did Jai today as well, it's kind of popping out to me. His mouth looks like it is comfortable sort of holding the emotive space. And so that makes me think Jai, and then I'm seeing elongation, so Jai.
Right. Let's see, full face. I don't think she's Sheena. Right.
Yeah, so yeah, I think I might be seeing possibly objective with her. Maybe Nijai, but then again, maybe also Jinai. I'm also thinking about she is Asiatic, so and sometimes I feel like with certain ethnicities, I do have some difficulty reading them because I haven't seen as much media of those ethnicities. But yeah, I'm just wondering, like, with her eyes, like, is that objective or subjective, hooded, unhooded? Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna guess Nijai.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a Sheena. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Is she B grade or?
She does look more round, more gathered.
More rounded. Okay.
Yeah. I think she would be a little tougher to see.
I think she's still solid. I think a B.
Yeah.
That's me. Okay. So yeah, the one that picture on the left just jumps out to me. the amount of emoting he's doing in his mouth area. It's not a big move, but it's kind of filling up his whole face with that tone. And that emoting is looking like it is pushing, giving me a message across. So I'm saying GI.
Okay, I know he's Naishi, but things I see is the length in his face, hooded eyes, the more dreamy quality, but that's projecting outward. It's piercing outward. Naishi.
Yeah, I believe he's a Nishai.
Naishi.
Nishai.
Jinai.
Jinai.
Nishai.
I think I'm seeing subjective and adaptive, so I guess shiny.
Nishai.
Shiny.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a Durham, looks objective. I'm going to say Jinai.
You look
Oh,
tough.
Naji.
Oh, I think that's a little hard for A.
Yeah.
The face
Yeah, I guess I was throwing a little bit by his fuller face.
Yeah, that's a good point. Johnny.
She's tricky. She could be an shiny or an Naishi that's just more demure looking. I don't know. Her eyes are kind of piercing and they look like they have a touch of V in them. So I'm going to say Naishi. Oh, shiny.
We think
I think she's a little
hard for an A.
harder. Yeah, not actually. Yeah. Cool.
Nishai.
Let's see. Jinai.
Shinai.
Shiny.
Naishi.
Shinai.
Both.
Nice.
Nice. All right, is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go kind of do one more round through, and then we can do some live reads. All right, so actually, I'm kind of go with the theme of Jai. I'd like to do a 32 sample female. Easy.
Jaimocho?
Jaimochos.
Quiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get that one fixed because it seems to be working on my end, but I'm having trouble diagnosing why it's not working on your end. So
Right.
it'll.
No worries.
Yep.
I'll figure it eventually.
Yeah.
All right, so Jaini.
Be shy. Looks clear.
Nishai.
Jaini.
I'm gonna say V shy. Interesting. She looks more V clear lens. I look into her.
All right, we'll go back to her real quick. Do you want me to pull her to look at?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I feel like I'm seeing clear eyes and Jai Alpha, so I'm gonna say Shivy.
Jaini.
Be shy.
With her, I feel like I'm seeing a Jai Alpha. And it's tricky as far as identifying whether it's clear or clear VIs or interpretive, more ethereal in the eyes. But I think she's a Zhai V. Let me guess that.
Nice. Zhai.
Say V shy.
Yeah, with her again, I'm thinking Zhai Alpha. As far as which one, it's tricky. Hmm. Let me guess Shiny. Oh, she's a Zhai V.
Yeah, I questioned how much did it weigh on you that you got the third one in a row on your turn. You're like, that's too weird.
Yeah, I mean, it did weigh on me like a little bit because I didn't know that I just had a Zhai V female,
Yeah.
but
And that happens sometimes.
but
We're
yeah,
like,
I mean,
is
it's
that just weird, or is it drive Zhai V in the brain or something?
yeah, and at the same time, it wasn't like popping out to me like really strongly either way, so
Right.
it's kind of
Nijai.
Okay, Nijai.
Yeah, so with her, yeah, I feel like maybe she's a Vijay, maybe she's a Jaini. I feel like some significant literal power energy, but it could still be modulation or something. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, part of me is thinking, I'm also considering Jai V2 because it's kind of in the middle. Of course, that would be like the fourth one. But let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of between Jai V and Vijay for the most part. I'm gonna guess Vijay. She's a Jai.
The fourth one. I'm a bad.
She kind of,
That can't be four in a row.
So crazy.
Yeah, I think you sound like you were actually
like I had riffs from both like Vijay and Jai V I was thinking about, so I was kind of
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely zeroed in on
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me. Nijai.
True.
Say Nijai.
Let's see. With her, she looks like a gather. So I'm thinking either Nijai or Vijay. I don't know. Those eyes look a little literal to me. I'm gonna say Vijay.
Jaini.
Jaini.
Yeah, again with her, it looks like a gather, but I think she's a Vijay.
Vijay.
She I see clear eyes. See her face sometimes look a little long, sometimes looks a little more compact. Like on the right hand side looks a little longer, but I think I'm seeing a Vijay.
Her face looks a little long to me. The eyes look like knee to me. I'm gonna say Jaini.
Jai V.
Shy V.
I'm just thinking about like did her motor change or something, or let's see. Yeah. Let me guess Nijai.
Yeah.
Vijay.
Shiny.
I'm guessing she's a Jai Alpha. I don't know. And ethnicity thing's kind of tricky. I think she looks kind of fleshy, so I'm gonna say Jivey.
Nijai?
And Jivey.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Hey,
All right, what are you feeling, Jarlene?
I think I want to check out like all the directive males.
All directed males?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Shit, excuse me.
Why not?
That'll be fun.
That'd be fun. Okay, and then I think got everybody. Okay, and males. And we'll do easy, so make it, you know, something that we can manage. And surf.
Also, I like playing easy for a while until we get all the kinks and everything out, really familiar with it, because this is what new people will be working with. So
yeah,
want to make sure you're really good about it. All right, so I'm seeing full face, so that makes me feel I'm seeing a directive objective mojo, and then the cheeks don't look like they're moving much, so that says logic base, therefore together a Z source mojo. The eyes look a little dreamy to me, so I'm saying Z9.
cool. All right, let's see. So obviously we know this is a directive mojo already, so that's out of the way. And you can see I see piercing, I see some elongation. I'm gonna go with a hunter mojo. His eyes look a little more dense. I think I'm seeing Vi. And I think I see activation on his cheeks, although I see his lower lip more. That's kind of creating conflict in my mind. Not quite sure why that is. I could also see a case for an IZ. So, but I do see the cheeks activated. Strange. I'm between IZ, VIG, and VIZ. I'm gonna go with VIG, but but I can't reconcile those two things, and I'm not quite sure why. Oh, VIZ. Okay, so that's what it was. It seemed like his cheek was moving.
Should we make him a B?
Yeah. What do you think, Ben? Would you confuse this? Is this confusing at all? His kind of having more of a rounder cheek.
With him, the first thing I thought of is I compared him to like maybe a Ziny or something, just because he did strike me as logic based, particularly in the picture on the left. And then he's also subjective, so I guess that would probably explain that. But yeah, I guess as far as like whether it's it's easy to see the cheeks not moving and so forth. I'm picture on the right is a little tricky, I think. Picture on the left, I feel like is easier.
Yeah.
So maybe B?
Yeah, so maybe B. Yeah, B. Solid B. Okay. This one's yours, Ben.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so with him, I'm thinking I'm seeing, I feel like I'm seeing objective. And I feel like, yeah, I think I'm seeing G as well, as opposed to Jai and Z. Considering, I'm thinking of like the G alpha right now. And considering maybe G5 or G9. The eyes, as far as they look, whether they look more concerned or more cunning, I think they look more cunning, so I'm gonna guess G9.
All right, so here we have elongation, I think I'm seeing, so subjective. The cheeks strongly to me don't look like they're moving, so it says also logic based. That puts it to the Zez tandem mojos. And the eyes, they have that more concrete, hard pinpoint stare as compared to Nice, and this is a VIZ.
Okay. Okay, so I see elongation, as you can see on hooded eyes. Doesn't look like there's activation of his cheeks or really around his face. I think his eyes are piercing. They look a little more dreamy to me, so I'm gonna say Nizy. Okay.
I'm thinking about maybe Nizy or Jinai, possibly. Are my two things I'm thinking about the most. But honestly, his face does look a little fuller, and I think that mowing might be going into the cheeks and so forth. Concerning things like maybe Niger or G5, it doesn't really seem like it. I guess maybe, yeah, I have to think about G5 and take that seriously. I mean, it could be. Also think about Vaiji, but again, his face looks fuller. It looks more like the emoting, like a discernment lead unifield face. So yeah, I feel like I'm between the two G alpha the most, and I'm gonna guess. Jinai. Oh, he's a Vaiji.
Yeah, yeah, and I can definitely see like the G Vi because you were thinking about it for a while. So maybe make him a B. His face is a little full.
Yeah, I felt like the Vi was easier to see.
Cool. All right, so elongations is objective, cheeks aren't moving, logic based, and those eyes look a bit more dreamy far away. So Nizy.
Okay. All right. So interesting. Okay. His looks like a pilot. It's a large head and face, strong jawline. Also, it looks unifield. Okay, so discernment lead. Gonna say it's interesting because I don't know, we turned over recently the Z Alpha. I'm wondering if this is one that's been impacted because he has very chiseled cheeks, engaging smile, but I don't know that that's really activating the cheek fascia. So I'm curious. I'm gonna say Z9 and see what this is. G-Vi. Okay.
So I think to me the Vi looks pretty clear.
Yeah.
Is the chisel of the cheek a little tricky for value space? Should be B.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, what do you think, Ben? Does the emotiveness jump out at you?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking he was maybe a Nizy or something, so I felt like it was a little challenging for me to see the emotiveness. It makes sense now in retrospect, but when I first looked at him, I was thinking about the Nizy at the time.
The emoting. All right, I'm gonna B then.
Cool. This one's yours, Ben.
Thanks. Yeah, so I mean, I can just see like the kind of bubble this guy's a part of. He looks like he's some sort of business or professional, some sort of business dude or something. And the main mojos that we see there are the Zenai, the Vizi, and the Vaiji, and so forth. But of course, I mean, it is possible it's one of the other mojos, and I could be wrong about the bubble I'm attempting to identify and so forth. There's always rarities that could come up, but I do believe, as far as cues are concerned, that that he does look like he's probably either a Vi Alpha or Zenai, just looking at him. I'm leaning a little more towards Vi Alpha. I'm thinking about like, is the mowing going into the cheeks or not? At the same time, yeah, it's a little tricky. I mean, on the picture on the left, he's mowing quite a bit, but I'm not sure it's going to the cheeks. Could be shy unaware, possibly. Although it is pretty good emoting. So, but I love, for example, like Vi GFC, and I'm not sure the mowing quite looks like that. But maybe it does. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna guess Vizi. Oh, he's a Vaiji. Okay.
But should he be D grade too? What do you think? What?
I felt like the emoting was very strong and like on the picture on the left and so forth. So I mean, I think he's okay where he is. I mean, challenging for me, but I feel like it's not like there wasn't like anything like as far as the media was concerned that made him like particularly.
All right. Cool. Naiji.
Okay, looks pretty strong ample. Unifield face. Think his I think his eyes are a little more. Because he may be some concern. I'm gonna say Zibai.
This guy, I feel like I'm seeing Vi, concern in the eyes. I feel like I'm also seeing G, and he looks like the G is very strong. I'm most considering the G Vi right now, thinking in the back of my head, is he possibly a Vi G or something? But I'm gonna guess G Vi.
Zenai.
Okay, so he has a longer face. Don't see. Looks he's comfortable neutralizing. Oh, I'm gonna say 90.
I'm gonna guess Naiji on him.
Z. Ample Sheiks comes out right away, so Z alpha. But those eyes have, I think, more pinpoints to Zibai.
Okay. Yeah, he's one that's tricky for me. I mean, it looks like is coming from that bubble of politics. They tend to be Vi alpha and Z. They're Z alpha, but primarily Z Ni. So let me see. I see some concern with his eyes. I see the Vi. So Vi Mojo. I think I'm seeing activation in the cheeks. I'm gonna say Vaiji.
With him, I feel like I'm seeing Z and logic based. I don't feel like I'm seeing G with him, and the emoting doesn't look like it's going into the cheeks. Also, his face is very full. It seems unifield. Looks like a pilot face to me. The eyes also look rather dreamy to me, so I'm gonna guess Z and I.
Let's see here. Okay, so I'm seeing elongation. I believe I'm seeing the emoting going to cheeks pretty easily, despite not doing a lot of large movement from the mouth area. So that tells me Jez Hunter, but the eyes, dreamy or not. I'm getting more of a pinpoint quality from them, so I'm gonna say Baiji.
Okay. Okay, so what's jumping out at me? One is his eyes. They look dreamy, cunning. He has elongation of the face. I think I'm seeing two different things going on with his emoting and the perception over that. I'm gonna say Byfield, and I think I'm seeing emoting, so I'm gonna say Naiji.
This guy is a Jinai. We just did him.
By Z.
I think I'm seeing by concern, pilot face, Amvo. I'm gonna say Zibai.
With him, I feel like I'm probably seeing subjective. I feel like the eyes look rather dreamy to me. Yeah. I'm thinking, is the mowing going into the cheeks? I mean, he seems to be cooling a lot in both pictures. The cheeks, I'm not really seeing clear evidence of emoting going into the cheeks. But the emoting does seem fairly pronounced. For example, the picture on the right, just I'm not sure I'm seeing going into the cheeks. I'm gonna guess an IZ. Oh, he's an IG. Okay.
Maybe I should get a better picture from him.
Yeah,
because I think he is a good A sample. If he
yeah, because he does look like an IG to me. I just had trouble. Just doing a significant eye.
More evidence.
Gotcha. And Ben, have you inputted all the pictures that I've given you so far?
Yes, cool. But I'm not sure. Some of them might not be working. Like if you find any that aren't working, just basically tell me about it and I'll fix it. Because I'm pretty sure they're all in there. It's just like some I may need to fix. You know what I mean? Like something I need to technical detail with how it's in there. I need to change.
Cool. Gotcha. Is this me now?
So.
Okay, so elongation and the piercing eyes, very, very piercing. So I'm getting Hunter. The piercing seems very pinpoint, something by alpha, and I do not believe the cheeks are moving much, the by Z.
All right, striking me right away, it's that large, like 1 unit sort of head and substantial jawline. I think I'm seeing a pilot, unifield face, anvil. So Z, alpha. As far as the eyes, I don't know. His eyes have more either. I mean, he could be a Z-Vi with a lot of knee because I see some brightness, good amount of brightness in his eyes. Or I'm having trouble calling his eyes. I'm gonna say Z-Vi, but he could be a Z9. Okay, Z-Vi.
So do you think he was okay for an A sample or?
I don't know. What do you think, Ben, with him? Does the Vi concern jump out with him?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really jump out for me, but like it does make sense. Like looking at the picture on the right, it does. Eyes look pretty steady there. It's a little tricky because he's like, I think, he's like a cyclist, so he's a little kind of like sweaty, and that kind of has a. I mean, that can kind of make me feel, is that like fleshiness or is that like clear eyes? Because their eyes like sometimes like fill with water and kind of look a little like but it does look, especially in the picture on the right, does look steadier. I mean, some of the like MMA fighters we've seen, like the steadiness they have in their eyes, like they might be kind of sweaty and but you can still see like they're very like that steadiness.
So what do you think? So you think keep it at A or maybe B? What are you thinking?
I think he works as an A. I mean, I think why, like one reason I think he's challenging is just because I haven't seen a whole lot of Z-Vi. But I think as far as like the sample, individually, I think, it seems like a good. So.
A sample, yeah.
Is this me?
It is.
So right away, anvil face, pilot, the head, but the cheeks are not moving, but the eyes here look dreamy to me. So Z9.
Long face. I see Pierce. I'm going to go with Hunter. The eyes look cunning, more dreamy, diffuse. I'm going to go with Nye. I think I'm seeing lower lip action, dry, and not going into the cheeks, nicely. Oh, really?
No, that's why I would guess too.
Yeah.
All right, so he'll go down to B.
Okay. Yeah, because he has a long face. That's just threw me off.
Long enough for it to be a C grade?
I think. I don't know. What do you think, Ben? Do you think that he warrants like, if he's a B or a C for a G9?
Well, to me, the picture on the left, I thought it shows a lot of emoting. That's why I thought it'd be good, but maybe.
Yeah, but
I actually found the picture on the right to be easier, but I don't know.
Yeah, because the one on the left kind of reminded me of the guy from Black Sails, the captain.
So are you thinking B or C?
Because I mean, I guess in the picture on the right, I can see like the quality of like him not really, actively, doing like a smile or like a big maneuver, but I can still see a lot of like emotional tone in the face. Picture on the left is a little more challenging, I guess, maybe because he's a little bit older and he has longer features and so forth.
It's also grainier too. So How about B grade? And I try to get better picks.
Yeah. I like it. This one's your spin.
Okay. With him, I'm leaning more towards. Actually, I'm not sure. With him, I'm leaning more towards a Nai Mojo. And I'm leaning more towards Pilot because he has a fuller face and it seems more unifield to me. I'm also leaning more towards G. So I'm going to guess G Nai.
Sweet.
Oh, he's a G Vi.
Is the Vi tricky on him?
I think I can see the concern, yeah, but
Yeah, Mage's not familiar.
yeah, I'm not as familiar with these G5.
Sure.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I guess I feel like I can see the knee in the picture on the right. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, it makes sense in retrospect. I did find it challenging to see the Vi when I was reading him, but.
Do you think maybe since he has, because he has a noticeable amount of knee, maybe that's a little tricky. I'll put him as B grade.
Okay. Yeah. I think I was probably looking at the knee and thinking that maybe he was interpretive, possibly. I'm not sure.
Is this me?
It is.
All right. Elongation, cheeks not moving, dreamy, noisy.
Okay. Let's see. So, I think seeing Pilot. He like lower lip. Looks maybe localized. I'm gonna say Z I. No,
But you don't look at him.
Okay.
Now we've been seeing more about the Z vibe.
Cool.
And they are strongly represented in racers. All right.
With him, I feel like I'm seeing. I mean, he has kind of like a wider face, but it doesn't really look like a. Well, it might not be a pilot. I'm leaning more towards it being a hunter because it has the eyes seem to be rather intense, and I feel like I'm seeing that biofield quality with him, despite the fact that he has wider features. Yeah, like on the picture on the left, I feel like I'm seeing like this intensity in the eyes that's like on its own. That's not with the discernment power. As far as like which hunter, I feel like I'm probably seeing Nai and V, and I feel like the mowing is going into the cheeks. I'm gonna guess Nai Jian him.
Close.
Oh, he is a Jinai. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like, I mean, he does have the wider features and stuff. So I feel like as far as like the more like obvious answer, I feel like Jinai is a little more obvious answer. So, I mean, there are certain qualities to his face, like they could get confused for Hunter in certain ways, but I feel like because he has like his wider features and stuff, it kind of.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Cool beans. All right. Can you set this up real quick though? What do you want to do, Ben? I'll do last one. We'll power through, and they'll do live reads.
Sure. Yeah. How about we do? Yeah. How about we do subjective, interpretive, both genders.
All right.
And we can just leave everything else the same.
Cool. All righty. So let's see here. All right. So elongation, cheeks aren't moving. So that tells me subserve. But I don't know. I don't know if he's pushing. He looks like he might just be holding his ground there. I don't say Zion.
All right. Cool. Okay. So I'm thinking about maybe Zhiny with her. Maybe Ziny though. I'm thinking about the two Nez towers, because I feel like I mean, of course they're all subjective, but I feel like her face does look unifield to me, more approachable, natural state approachability. Yeah, I'm finding the two, like figuring out which one it is, a little tricky. I'm gonna guess Shiny.
All right. That looks like a lot of emoting going up his face. I'm saying Shiny.
That's cool. Yeah, because like they're one thing that's cool is they each of these four mojos has the values based power at a different rank.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Your turn. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see. So. She's. I feel like with her, I'm leaning a little bit more towards logic based. I'm thinking about the two alpha a little bit. I'm also thinking, maybe she's like a Ziny or something. A little bit more towards logic based though. Yeah, I'm gonna guess Nizy.
Close.
Oh, she's an IG. Okay.
What do you think, Charlene? Is her? He gets Nizy with her. Do you think the value space is apparent?
Yeah, she's tricky because she has the thinner upper lip, and it can lead you to believe that it's unaware, like shy.
Okay, so B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's easier to see on the picture on the right than the picture on the left for me.
Yep. Same.
All right. Naiji.
All right. I'm gonna say Naiji.
Ziny, Bill Nye.
Jarny.
Okay. Ziny.
I'm gonna guess Nizy because I think I remember him.
Let's see. Trickier. I think I'm seeing G with Zai. Naiji? It's a little piercing.
What's that?
I'm guessing Naiji and her.
Okay. Let's see. I think I'm seeing maybe a tower here. I think I'm seeing Shiny.
Yeah, I mean the cheeks, they look sheer to me. It seems like Nye Alpha. So I'm gonna guess Nizy.
Nizy.
Okay, let's say Shiny. Oh, Shiny. Interesting.
Everything is hard.
Yeah. What would you say? Would you? Does this jump out as a Shiny to you?
I feel like I would probably get caught in between the two sub-realms with him. So,
I think he's more of a B.
Yeah.
Just because he has.
You're a B.
More neutralized face. Yeah.
So with her, she seems more logic-based to me. And yeah, I mean, the cheeks look sheared. The mullion doesn't look like it's going up. Thinking, is she a Nizy or a Ziny? I feel like the moting is stopping pretty far down the face, particularly in the picture on the left. Although it does look maybe it's downturned, so I have to think about that. Because sometimes like the mowing might just be stopping further down. Sometimes it's actually just shy being the downturner mowing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm between the two. Yeah, between the two cerebral, subjective cerebral mojos. I may guess Ziny. Oh, she's a shiny. Okay.
You see. Okay, so I'm kind of getting the piercing things. I'm thinking Ni Alpha. And the cheeks don't like they're moving a lot. And I think like the one on the left, I think I'm seeing that lower lip and downturned corner, so I was going to say Ni Z.
Okay, well, yeah, this one I think looks fairly classic. I'm seeing the localized emoting just right around the mouth, and that looks aware. And the eyes, there's a calming energy, receptive eyes. I'm gonna say Ziny. That's your cheeks.
Ziny.
Ziny.
Naishi.
Naiji.
Naiji.
Naishi.
Sort of in between the two Nez Towers. I feel like I'm seeing emotive tone going into the eyes, though. So I guess shiny. Oh, she's an IZ. Okay.
Yeah, you see that poignancy, but yeah. No,
Yeah.
We think she'd be or good A? Good A. All right. Okay, so I'm getting piercing, and out the cheeks are moving. That on the left, that looks like that strong lower lip action, so an IZ.
Okay, oh, again, fairly classic, or the, yeah, localized G-aware, calming, centered energy, sheer cheeks, in the eyes, Ziny.
I guess Nizy.
Shiny.
I'm gonna say Shiny.
Between the two subjective cerebral mojos, that does look like G to me. So I'm gonna guess Ziny.
And Nizy. Boom.
All right.
All right. Got about 20 minutes. Let's go and see if we can maybe get one, maybe two reads. Nice. That was fun. I like this jumping around and warm up and everything. That's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice to go on all these different, little different tours, adventures.
Yeah, sure.
And it's good to also be help fine tune the rating system of the media grades.
I can go look for samples in the forum unless you have any specific ones then.
No, I don't have any in particular, but I can get maybe to watch the other link and then be good.
In the middle.
Good stuff. Yeah. There's a link.
Awesome. So, there we go. And oh, all right. Looks like we got ourselves an entrepreneur, activist, and author. She has some media here. Karine McCandless. All right, so I'll put it in the screen share. And in one of these videos, URL.
it becomes a lesson when they have that personal insight and they have the answers to those questions. It becomes a lesson that they take outside of the classrooms with them. And these are the husbands and wives and the mothers and fathers of tomorrow. These are the people that are going to be molding our country and our future and our communities. And I think that there's a lot of lessons in this book, and I think it'll help people to read them as much as it helped me to write them down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, beyond the obvious connection to Chris and Icon, it's like definitely like a story worth telling. I got that. Throughout the book, you were talking about why people are so fascinated with Chris. Have you come to like figure out an answer? Why you think?
I mean, the short answer is that Chris's story makes people think.
So she's related
It
to
makes
the.
people think. It makes them really
I think
analyze
it was
the difference between
the inspiration for the
selfishness and
Into the
self-awareness.
Wild story, wasn't it?
Some people
Yeah.
view Chris's actions as selfish, but they were absolutely so far from that. And he was an incredible.
Oh, sorry. What did you say, Sean?
He knew exactly what he needed to do.
Apparently, she's a relative
and where
of
he
Chris
was
McCandless, who
going
was
to
the
do that.
inspiration
Nature
for was the inspiration for the movie Into the Wild.
She's the what?
She's a relative. Let me see, maybe like the mom of Chris. Let's see, entrepreneur. She's a sister. Okay, so she's a sister of Chris McCandless, who was the inspiration of that movie in the book and the movie Into the Wild.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she was the who for him?
His sister.
Oh, his sister. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is like the sister of the actual person?
Yeah, the actual person.
Okay.
Yep. So interesting.
an absolute draw for him. He loved nature ever since we were little, and that's a great gift that our parents introduced us to. They introduced us to nature. But
he seems
he wasn't
very
just pulled by his love of nature
self-possessed,
to go through
poised.
everything that he was going through internally.
I'm wondering if,
but he was also pushed,
I don't know.
and I think it's important that people
maybe she's a
understand how much
Naiji
Chris was
herself.
hurting when he left, to explain why he left the way he did. It's one thing to go off on extreme adventures.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
To do that and cut off all contact with your family,
Right.
reinvent your identity. It's two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, like he buried his trail, but pride
maybe.
couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Somebody doesn't want to be found.
Yeah, he did not want to be found. Yeah.
And I learned too, like that's part of like the.
Seems like she has strong articulation so far.
Yeah, she has
Like,
strong
how could somebody do
articulation.
that?
Yeah, he didn't
I'm
want to be
wondering
found
if
because he
this
wanted
is,
to be able to go through
Actually,
this
shy.
on
Now
his
that I'm
Yeah.
looking
own.
at
And I don't speak for Chris.
Yeah, I'm wondering like maybe is that
to
I'm
make
thinking about like maybe is that like Z and Jai or maybe she has good C or I don't know.
I feel that I knew him better than anyone else. And he and I talked about that we understood each other.
But yeah, I think you're right. Like she does seem to have good poise.
And
Mhm.
Chris speaks for himself.
Yeah.
I have excerpts of letters that he wrote.
I think I did see
before
more
he-
dreamy sort of
when he graduated college and took off
perception.
on this journey. And he's
See
been
an
on all kinds
interpretive.
of adventures and journeys, even during high school.
And I think
after
I'm
high
seeing
school, during every
emotive
college
activation in the cheeks.
break. So he had a lot of experience in doing this kind of thing. Not enough.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna look at some pictures.
Critique mistakes as they can from his successes. And I do that with myself in this book. I mean, you can't write a book with truth in the title without ruffling a few feathers or upsetting a few people. And you also can't do it without some self-deprecation. I mean, I can't help other people learn from mistakes I've witnessed other people doing without putting my own right out
I don't
there
know,
too.
someone
of
who's
course.
interviewing.
And I learned a lot of lessons from Chris, and I learned a lot of lessons from my childhood.
Yeah.
And still I'm learning, and most importantly, from my children.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you were clear that he
Oh,
went
jeez.
out to like Alaska to stay for a while, but also part of the plan was to come back.
Yeah, I wonder
Yes,
if
well,
this is
Chris's intention, I can
shy.
tell from reading his journal, was
Yeah.
to make it out
This
living off the
mouth
land for 100
expression.
days.
Mhm.
And, he almost pulled it off. He died, I believe, on the 113th day.
And I didn't realize he was there from April to August, right?
Yes.
That's that's amazingly impressive.
Yeah, and that might be cunning.
Yes. And not speaking for other people, but I've seen people like John
No.
that are these outdoor extremists.
She seems to have good articulation.
She She does.
at the same time that they can acknowledge his great
And,
mistakes.
like,
Because
and if she is a niche,
they were
she has a
young
good amount
and
of
male, and they remember the things that they did. And I've heard them talk,
vibe,
and John's even written
poise,
about how
you know.
Yeah, yeah.
in
Bobble,
certain situations
really?
that he,
Like,
things that he went
she
off the course to
just,
do, and barely making it out alive. And I think that's, you know, part of the point.
I'm also thinking about maybe Zinai, because we've been talking about possibly Jai and also good articulation, and also Nai.
Really have more experience and more wisdom. You look back at some of those things and think, wow, you know, I'm lucky I made it.
I'm just kind of staying away from
Chris
that
did not
just
get the
because I
opportunity to
think I'm
live into
seeing
his adulthood
activation in the
and
cheek.
write his own stories about those adventures.
So I think I'm seeing more of a values-based, but I could see wanting,
Well,
you
Chris
know,
was a
to
great
explore
writer.
that
He
too.
really was. And people ask me all the time what I think Chris would be doing now if he had lived. And my answer is always the same. I always say that he'd be a lot like John Krakauer. And it always makes John Krakauer blush because Chris and John are of the same type of personality that don't understand how remarkable they are.
Yeah, I feel like I might be seeing Jai.
Yeah.
In combination with articulation, some kind of. But I also agree. Like,
I've been a teacher, a writer.
she does
very possibly
seem like she has a lot of poise. The eyes, I feel like maybe I'm seeing that. I'm not sure.
Atrocities. I mean, that's the kind of thing. And Chris would have made a name for himself with no intention whatsoever. You know, he would just want to be doing something to open people's eyes, you know, and make them think.
I mean,
and
she does seem like
that every day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of her pictures, they do seem like kind of a.
You know, it is. I get asked that a lot.
Full face, possibly.
You know, how would Chris be someone of such a private
like when you say
in
terms of the emoting or in terms of broad face?
You know, John Krakauer.
No, I mean full face in terms of like, you know, maybe, maybe like a pilot, more objective.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. He would not understand. Didn't understand why everyone doesn't choose to live this way. So
yeah, well, I've seen her mom though, like her and her mom. Kind of.
Yeah, why are people so interested in the story?
They don't look like, don't jump out to me as pilots necessarily.
Who's going to buy this book? Little did I know.
You kept writing about like the magnetism that he had for people that he met.
Pictures of her mom.
Yeah. You know, see, I'm gonna put another video. That's cool.
Okay, yeah, sure thing.
And had him in the car for a couple hours, and he made it up.
I'm really excited today to introduce a new friend of mine, Kareem McCandless. He's the
story behind the image. And whenever we would have to pause for the perfect little family pictures, our dad would be behind the camera screaming at us to smile, smile. So what we had just been through in the household, really not in the mood, but you had to do it. If you didn't, I knew what was coming next. Now, look closely at our expressions in these pictures. So I'm being compliant, got a smile on my face, got my hand behind his back. I'm trying to.
Yeah, she does seem more like a Nijai here in this young child picture.
And look at the
more of
I don't know.
Now he's only about.
I have trouble reading children, especially like really old photos and stuff.
Right.
Already understands. Now, what's really important about this picture, I've got it on the cover of my book, because people look at that and like, oh.
But yeah, I'm thinking like maybe she like a Nijai. That could also be, you know, maybe she just has really good seeing by. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Right. That's what this whole talk is going to be about. And
that would also explain, you know, looking objective and.
Yeah, I can remember like it was yesterday. It's you have this image that you're going to portray out to society, but sometimes it's so very different from what is actually going on. So Chris just, even at that age, he wasn't going to accept that. He was already.
Yeah, it seems like that's. I don't know. That's way back that she's doing right there. I'm trying to see whether
making a
that's a
determination of
Jai
what's right and what's wrong. When you grow up in a household
or Zai.
domestic
Looks
violence,
like maybe a little
you become
softer.
acclimated to it. You don't know at this age that every household isn't like that. You don't understand. So, you know, when your environment is saturated with that, you become completely desensitized to it. Chris understood something was wrong. You know, as we grew up, you know, in a lot of ways, Chris was your typical kid, but in other ways, there was just something about him that, I don't know, you could say was deeper than most people at that age. And sometimes we would just be having typical.
Yeah, I know.
Over, you know, that's my space.
I feel like I'm
but other
I'm
times,
ready to guess on her. I'm not sure if I'm right, but you know.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Yeah, I'm ready to put forward guesses. So, where do you land on her?
All right, I'm gonna guess Xenai is my first guess. Nishai is my second guess.
Okay, I'm gonna say Nijai and then Naiji.
All right. You guys were moving around. This is gonna be a very tough sample. One, because you don't have a lot of familiarity with this kind of thing, and actually the history probably also added relatedness to it that makes things challenging.
Yeah.
I believe this is Zivai.
Oh, Zivai. Okay.
So actually, Ben, you were actually you were quite close with the Z Alpha and the shades there. But yeah, I believe this is a Zivai with strong knee and Jai.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah.
Wait, is it dressing Nijai and yeah. We were kind of.
Yeah. So Nijai is shades, and then Xenai is the Z Alpha.
That's ample there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I felt like I was riffing off of maybe Stargirl or something for part of it. You know, she's kind of, she seems like a little bit southern, and I don't know. But yeah. So.
Yeah. Cool. I wonder what her brother was.
Yeah, and this is just something to throw out there as a general trend. I'm not saying this actually applies to the instrument that is the Zivai or Xenai in some one-to-one way, but I will say something I have noticed and you might be aware of. The Xenai females tend to be a little more, not in general, but I would say there's riffs of them, and where they do more like the gender bending and a bit more, say avant-garde in certain ways. Actually, one thing I can throw is the Zivai, although a more yang mojo design, tend to have more, I would say, traditionally feminized style of clothing, speaking, and gesturing, which actually surprised me. I noticed that with the vloggers, that a lot of like the Zivai female vloggers are in some ways more girly than the Xenai female vloggers, although the Zivai is technically a more yang mojo, but they tend to be a bit more, I don't say normal, but
following traditional gender roles, so where the expectations are as far as dress.
And some might some that you might not expect, thinking Zivai being so yang, but actually it can go that way.
Yeah, interesting. Cool.
Nice. What do you guys think? Time for another one?
Sure. Maybe we can do one pretty quickly. I don't know. I can also go a couple minutes over. It's fine with me. So.
One more. That was toughy. If I saw it, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. That's interesting because we just got a Zivai last week. So
the guy, Jeff Gordinier, an American writer.
How's the meeting input?
Yeah.
Good luck. And her name was
Green McCandless.
I did. I saved the world. What I want to do with the book is to remind people of that. But in fact,
horrible green screen, but
I think oh,
forgive
feels of the revolutions of the 60s and post-Watergate, post-Vietnam.
I think I'm seeing localized
fact of coming on the heels of those episodes
think
of
I'm
American political
seeing
life. I think branded our identity.
Jai.
Made us, in some ways,
Jai and C.
less idealistic.
My experience from being with socializing, friendships, and interacting family, my impression of Generation X during that period of time is that most of those folks have a pretty strong sense of entitlement.
Oh, I think those are the people that come after us, which are the millennials. But it could just be that the theme of entitlement is a perennial, it's sort of an evergreen.
Yeah.
And we always feel like the next generation.
So I want to ask you something. Given that there is some of that, to whatever extent, how are those folks that
I'm kind of between those two that can be in like writing and like chefs and stuff of like Xeni or Vijay. I feel like I'm
pretty big high. There was that, right? Now we're not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the first thing that's popping out to me is he seems to have some wider features and a little heavier.
In many ways, everyone's a generation.
Yeah.
What I mean by that, the X's, a lot of our career advancement has been bookended or defined by the busts, by the October 1987 crash, the dot-com meltdown in 2000, sort of economic.
Is there anything younger?
Now. But for a lot of the millennials, the generation that comes after us, also known as Generation Y, they really were marinated in boom times. And this is the first experience a lot of them have had with, no, actually, we're not hiring. There are no opportunities.
And you're
going to have to work.
And you're unemployed.
You're unemployed. You'll have to work in the service sector for a while. You have to live with mom and dad. So that's a shock to their systems. I used to encounter, just with younger folks I taught, journalism schools or whatnot. Quite frankly, a degree of entitlement, a degree of expectation that it'd be editor-in-chief of the magazine.
I think we have one point of view about the American dream.
Yes, and it's mine.
Yeah.
So that has shifted, and perhaps for the better. I mean, we could all use a little disillusionment now and then. Not necessarily a bad thing. Makes you hungry.
But when you
Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm seeing Jai possibly.
yeah.
X saves the world.
Well, it started with an essay that I wrote for Details, where I worked. That was essentially
Was this guy?
Expression of
He's a writer and also in
sandwich
like the
between
food.
boomers and the millennials and
Maybe
those generations which are much
let's
larger
see.
and more.
He's a
flashy,
critic,
you might say. We're sort of sucking up all the mass
and
media
writer.
oxygen. So I
Seems
wanted to
like he
write a
has
book
some ties
about
to the food
what our
critique.
contributions
Myself, I
to
need a better video.
Originally, my point of view was
Okay, so
more
there's some more videos.
pessimistic, you might say. But as I dug in and did
Let's see.
some research, I thought about, wait a second, we contributed Google, YouTube, Amazon.com, Netflix, just from the business and.
Frankly, I would wish that you guys would stop.
Sorry, it's just how we're wired.
It's too much contribution.
No, we're going to keep going.
You're gonna keep
Yeah,
going.
but I think in many.
If you don't have kids, write your book now. Trust me, do it now.
These are webcam photographs of journalist Jeff Gordinier working on his new book, X Saves the World. It's nonfiction that anybody can use about how to write about music, how to write with the family, and most importantly,
How about this one?
how he built his do-it-yourself.
It turns out I think that he thought X Saves the World was a book about Jesus.
Yeah.
Because of the title, like X and Christmas. That's my only
You
conclusion.
would think when you read from the book, you would have maybe self-corrected on that.
This was after the reading. But you know what's weird is I'd read about Nirvana. So maybe that even confirmed that it's a book
Really
about religion.
confused.
Yeah, like maybe he thought that was the Buddhism section. And perhaps he's right.
Did you buy the book?
He did buy the book and I signed it for him. I was psyched he was there. I welcome all fans, even those who think it's about something else.
Well, it's not about Jesus, and
Not
not
really.
directly, no.
No.
And it's not about men in tights.
Well, there's some men in tights in it, I suppose. But no, the book is about Generation X, right, which I'm a member of. And Generation X is sandwiched in between these gargantuan, media-hogging demographics, baby boomers and millennials, with these strange kids coming up, many of whom you might actually see on this campus, so I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But there was a moment a couple of years ago where the boomers and the millennials seem to be sucking up all the mass media oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
You were hearing about the boomers turning 60. They're still sexy and as successful as ever and ready to start their yeah.
So it looks like you wrote a book on like generations or something.
About it again.
Like Generation
Like X Saves the World or something. So I don't know.
And so there's this
Yeah,
Gen X sensibility that seemed to have been lost in the shuffle.
Wondering.
It seems a little.
Yeah,
By people.
tough.
And so I wrote an essay in Details magazine where I work. It's one of
One
those
thing he
weird
said
things
of like
where you
an
write an essay very
IZ,
quickly.
but he has like
You don't know what kind of response
thicker
you're going to get, and it happened to strike a chord in this case.
hands
Yeah,
here.
a lot of
Yeah. Something that was interesting is like even though like in his first like video and interview, like he had these like sort of he was like heavier and he had wire features and so forth. I kept thinking about like, you know, is he a hunter? Is he a hunter? It was kind of, I kept in the back of my mind, I was thinking that, and I wasn't sure why that was.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, some of his pictures, they look like they might.
I did research for the book.
It looks like more distinctly to me like he might be a directive mojo.
Yeah.
Would know it's ironic. I
Yeah,
don't really mean it. It's preposterous. That's meant to be sort of comic booky,
directive,
superhero-ish.
but yeah, he has some
and
things
yet,
going on that
To have
are
it both ways, I do sort of mean it. I mean, I feel like
making it tough for me to see whether he's like some things that like lead me to like Niz or by G. Other things lead me to
yeah. I know what you mean.
So somebody's got to do it, right?
that looks, I don't know, is that shy you know, vulnerability that I'm seeing there?
Yeah.
What's you know, where are we now? But then you had all these.
I don't know. Are you is this on like Google Images or?
Yeah.
I can't see your screen right now.
Oh, you can't? Is that
phrasing?
am I not screen sharing?
That's associated with the Summer of Love and Woodstock and hippies and all that stuff.
Here,
that a lot of Xers feel
that
internally failed. Like, you know, we sort of came in the back, we sort of arrived in the backwash of that hippie dream and saw its flaws, shall we say. And but nevertheless, we're also just kind of, we just think it's uncool to talk about changing the world, man. So
yeah, he's really interesting. I'm not. Yeah, part of me is like, is he a gatherer? Part of me is like, is he a hunter?
Yeah.
I mean, considering pilot at some points. I feel like I'm kind of thinking about like maybe perception lead. I don't know.
Gotta meet soon. And Matthew Zapruder, who put together this poetry bus trip.
He has that weight going on. So if he's a hunter, he'd be like heavier set.
Yeah.
A million little
I see
different
him
ways.
with the Atala. So no, what's the mojo of David Chang coach? From
David Chang. I guess I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, that is he's a V-Shy. So both of these are V-Shy that he's interviewing. So that's interesting.
Oh, well, this is a good one to start with. Tell us about.
Yeah, so I guess he's done some stuff with food too or something.
Food, yeah.
It is an ant. Yes.
It's a big ant. It is a big ant. Let's try to just explain this better. A few years ago, I went to Amazonas with an anthropologist who worked in Brazil. What are you putting strength? And was asking this because I didn't have a long resident.
You may have to keep working this sample.
Yeah.
Second, yeah, I can kind of share my thoughts.
Yeah.
He seems like he's gonna be tough because to me, he feels like he is not maybe the healthiest, and not that he's a bad person, but he just has a way about him. He's kind of like a bit slovenly, and he looks like from some of his earlier stuff that he's gained a bit of weight and that his face has gotten a bit fuller than it maybe naturally is. So I don't know what he is yet, but I am considering that he's like a hunter that's gained.
Yeah, like that first interview, I felt like, I mean, I saw like he had weight, but for some reason I kept thinking like maybe he's a hunter or something.
Yeah. Yep. This one.
And with that said, it's still very speculative, but my like initial gut reaction was that I was seeing
that the magazine needed to weigh in
because here's a little
on Generation X.
weight.
What had become?
Sorry, what did you say, Coach?
Vaiji is what I'm leaning towards. That this is a Vaiji weight, because I do think I don't think I was seeing Shy, but because of the, like I said, the fuller face that he's kind of gained that weight, I want to take more time with this case. But yeah, I'm tentatively, it's just tricky, but I'm thinking that maybe a hunter who's gained some weight, and within that, maybe it's a Vaiji.
Mhm.
Cool beans.
All right.
All right. So Ben, we will keep working on that stuff, and I'll have a few more screens to send you now that we have an idea of how we might do that.
Okay, sure. That sounds good.
Good. So next weekend, maybe we'll be able to try doing like some power contrasts and some energy field contrasts.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get some powers in there and energy fields. So energy fields. Do we have like artwork for that we could use for?
I think so. I think I'll make some more.
Okay. Yeah. If you have, I mean, would you want me to like add the option to do energy fields even if there's no artwork, or?
Yeah. Let's go and do that, and then I'll get the artwork.
Okay. Yeah, and I can just put it in the artwork as we get it, and that way, like, we can still use it just to play with it and so forth.
Perfect. All right. I look forward to it.
Yeah. So I'll see what I can do, like how much I can do as far as that the next week, and I'll put in what I can, and we'll go from there.
You've got some good ideas for making it more immersive, so I look forward to seeing it flesh out. All right.
Yep.
So then I'll see you next Sunday, and we'll do email for the week with stuff.
All right. Sounds good. Hope you
Have a
both
great
have a great night.
You
Yeah,
too.
you too.
Nice.